Hey, cinematic enthuse here, and coming to you today on March 29th, 2024. And there's a lot of movies that I want to go through. I'm going to see if I can do this. I'd probably have to do this in two videos, but so basically, how this works, if you don't know already, is I watch videos, I watch movies. They tend to be screwball comedies or musicals, or sometimes I'll make a playlist. Sometimes it'll be music itself, different kinds of music. But right now I've been watching a lot of screwball comedies. And so basically, I post the links in social media, either on YouTube or Instagram or wherever, and you can watch them. I let you know what I'm watching. You can watch them ahead of time. And I just am giving you my thoughts and recommendations. So let's get started here. Uh, ooh, Paris. This is a kind of a hard one to find. It's Maurice Chevalier, and it's from 1935. And by the way, you can go to my link tree, and there's a complete list of all the movies I've watched so far with all the links, so you can watch them yourself. That's at www.linktr.ee/cinematic enthuse. CINEMATICENTHUS. Okay, so Folie Bergère de Paris is basically a musical. It's really more of like a comedy with a couple musical numbers. But the cool part about it is you get to see Maurice Chevalier in the beginning. The opening numbers are really fun. And if you're familiar with the two other films that also use the same storyline, because I guess it's based on I think it's based on a original story or a book or something. But it's one of these mistaken identity things, or where, spoiler alert, the guy basically gets hired to pretend to be somebody else. Okay, so it's kind of like that movie Dave with Kevin Kline, if you've ever seen that. And so it's really fun. There's a lot of fun like situations that he gets into, and it's just really neat to see Maurice Chevalier in his heyday too, in the 30s. He's got a lot of wonderful facial expressions, and it's nice because I mostly heard him as an older man, the Thank Heaven for Little Girls, and you know a lot of these actors and actresses. It's really great to see them when they were in their prime, because you really get the idea of what they were like back then instead of later on in the 50s or 60s and stuff. So if you've seen either That Night in Rio, which is, I haven't put that on the list yet, and also it's called On the Riviera. And those are two separate movies that both also use the same storyline. Different actors, different, music, different studios and whatnot, but same storyline. So this movie has actually been redone several times. So yeah, it's definitely, I would definitely recommend it. This is one that I like to come back to. I've only seen it twice, but I really enjoy it. And I'll probably watch it again. So definitely like a, 3 stars, I think. Okay. That Wonderful Urge. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So Tyrone Power. I don't know what it is. There's certain actors you're going to hear me talk about. Actors, actresses. I call male and females both actors. So there's certain actors that I give a hard time to, and Tyrone Power is one of those. He doesn't annoy me as much as some other actors, but I don't get it. And I was convinced when I watched him. I thought, maybe this is a guy that didn't like do a lot of theater. Maybe he just did a lot of camera work and film work, which is, does require a lot of talent. But I tend to not like I like a lot of actors, and they don't all have to be theater actors, but I tend to kind of like the theater ones better. But anyway, so it turns out he was in the theater. Maybe this was just a swing and a miss for him, but he He's not well suited to screwball comedy, and of course he's not well known for it either. He's really more known as like an action drama kind of guy. I think he was in The Mask of Zorro, and I think he was in a lot of dramas and probably noirs and stuff like that. And he's very photogenic and everything. He's extremely good looking, and he's got a really wonderful. The camera loves him. But I just felt like Gene Tierney was with him in this, and Gene Tierney really surprises me because she was somebody that I did not think could handle screwball comedy. I thought, oh, she's probably really good at drama, which she is, but she probably can't handle screwball. She can. She can handle screwball comedy. I've seen her already in a movie that I may put on, in an upcoming video called Rings on Her Fingers. And she carries that movie. She's great in it. So I was pleasantly surprised by her. And she, once again, in this movie, is very kind of keeping everybody afloat, in my opinion. It's just, I just didn't really like it. Maybe you can watch it and see what you think. I mean, it wasn't horrible. It just, when you see big names like Tyrone Power and Gene Tierney, you kind of expect a lot. And I mean, I had a hard time giving it 2.5 stars. It just was boring to me. The good news is he plays a newspaper man. I love a newspaper comedy. So if you like a newspaper comedy, this is definitely good. And it's a remake of, to be fair, it is a remake of an earlier movie called Love is News, which I may look at some point. I've seen it, but I may, review it here. And I remember that being slightly better, but I don't remember it being like off the charts awesome or anything. It's an okay little movie. So anyway, so yeah, again, whatever I rate, you still should see it on your own if to make your own decisions. Midnight with and by the way, That Wonderful Urge, that's a post-war movie. That's 1948. So moving on to Midnight. Midnight is a classic screwball comedy that is always listed in the top, at least in the top 20. So this is one from 1939 with Claudette Colbert, who I love, and Don Amici, who I absolutely adore as well. Put them together, and it's just, they're unstoppable. It's a Mitchell Leisen movie, so those of you who know screwball comedy, he's one of the top screwball directors. He's a lot of people like Mitchell Leisen's Remember the Night. That's a good one. I think he also directed Easy Living. I like that one a lot. But anyway, this one is called Midnight. It's a wonderful story. It's fun because it takes place in Paris. And so if you're looking for kind of a nice Parisian getaway, this is fun. And of course it's in the studio, so you're not going to get any on location shots that I know of. There's also some wonderful, John Barrymore has a wonderful supporting character in this movie. He's really funny, and I'm going to probably watch one of his movies and talk about it in a future video. Frances Lederer, I believe, is in it, and Mary Astor, also very funny. You might know her from Palm Beach Story. Of course, you know her from The Maltese Falcon and all the classic noir movies, but she was very good. Mary Astor was very good at screwball comedy, much like Gene Tierney. Mary Astor definitely had a great handle on screwball comedy, so she's got a wonderful part in this too. But Claudette and Don are fabulous together. I don't want to give it away. There's some interesting ideas in this movie, especially when Don Amici is talking about how he wants to just live simply. It's in the earlier scenes of the film. He's a cab driver, and he's just talking about how he has all the money he needs, and after a cab fare, and it's an interesting idea. But I probably need to wrap up this video and continue on a second video. So I hope you'll join me on the next video, which will be coming up in just a sec. All right, thanks. Oh, and by the way, www.linktree/cinematic enthuse.